God for the opportunity. I would like to take this time to thank the chairlady, Sister Jocelyn Lewis, and also thank my pastor, and to thank the president of our Mission Society for allowing me this opportunity. This afternoon I've been asked to speak on our theme, which is God through the test of time. God through the test of time. Hebrew 13 and 5, as well as Hebrew 13 and 8. I will never leave thee nor forsake thee. Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. Throughout our lives, we have encountered many hardships. We've witnessed friends, family struggles, loss of loved ones, many diseases, sicknesses, and distress. But through it all, those of the household of faith have endured through his promise to never leave us or forsake us. So often we find ourselves questioning God for his decision. We go into that woe is me mentality, find ourselves dwelling more on the problem rather than focusing on the problem solved. Through God's word, the Holy Bible, he has made himself known. He is the creator, the deliverer, the author and finisher of our faith. He is everything that we need. I cannot begin to sum him up, because to sum him up would be to limit him. He is limitless. He has given us thousands of examples on how much he loves us, even when we are stiff-necked, gossiping, hard-hearted, and downright rebellious. Trials are ever present in this life, because this is a suffering journey. Jesus suffered, so people, why are we whining so much? He said, take up your cross and follow me. We should expect that there will always be hardships, heartaches, disappointments, but we shouldn't be thrown by them. God is getting us ready for what we cannot handle right now. He told us in his word to be of good cheer, because he has overcome the world. That is not to say that we will not be affected by trials and tribulations. Just know that our trials come to make us stronger. And if we stay close to him, he'll get us through it. Consider the story of Joseph, the young dreamer, who was sold into captivity due to the jealousy of his brothers. I'm not going to tell that whole story because I know you know it. But God turned it into good. He showed up in a mighty way. We know the story of Moses and what he had to endure before delivering God's people from bondage. But think about Moses' mother, who had hidden him for 3 months because there had been an order for the midwives to kill all the newborn male children of Israel. Moses was now 3 months old and too big to hide. But his mother, through her faith, she put him in a basket, sent it down the stream so that he could be found by the Pharaoh's daughter. Ladies, think about that. We as mothers today, will we do that? Think about your baby and you putting it in a basket down the river. But she trusted. She trusted her God, and he saw it through. Then there was Hannah, one of the 2 wives of Elkanah. Hannah was barren, but dearly loved by her husband. The other wife, who had children, was mean to Hannah. She boasted, she teased Hannah until she could not even eat. She was vexed and she wept bitterly. But Hannah was also a very strong woman. She went to her God and she poured out her soul. She rose early in the morning and she went and knelt before her God. And she petitioned him for a male child. And he heard her and he granted her the male child, who the Bible tells us is Samuel. But it doesn't end there. She She promised God she would give him back. And she did that as soon as he was weaned. And that's pretty early in life. But she gave him back to God. Then there was the servant who was recommended by God. Have you considered my servant Job? We are familiar with the story of Job and his affliction. God was right there. Job didn't understand why he had to lose everything, including his children. But he had an unwavering faith, and he refused to give up on God. Even when his wife told him to cuss God and die, Job admonished her as a foolish woman and stood steadfast. Now we can take a lesson from Job. Job 42:12 tells us that God blessed the ending of Job more than his beginning. His material wealth was doubled. He gave him 7 sons and 3 daughters. And throughout all the land, there was no woman as was found as fair as the daughters of Job. Now, we talk a little bit about Daniel, but I'm not going to go into the whole thing because we know this. But just trying to give you some accounting of the writings that God has left for us so that we will know that through the test of time that he's with us. Daniel and the Hebrew boys. Daniel was a slave, but due to his diligence to God, his faith, and his loyalty, and his excellency of spirit, he was preferred over 120 princes. These, the Hebrew boys and Daniel, they were faithful, refusing to bow down before the king's image, refusing to eat of the king's meat and drink his drink. God rewarded them. He gave them knowledge and skills and learning and wisdom, and Daniel had the understanding of all visions and dreams. Children, the fiery furnace, nor the den of lions was no match for God. Remember the man who had the infirmity for 38 years? He would wait near the pool of Bethesda, waiting for the angel who would come at a certain season to trouble the water. Whoever was first to enter the water after it was troubled would be made whole. There were many people. Some were withered, some were blind. This man was described as having an infirmity, but it was obvious that he couldn't walk because when Jesus spoke to him, asking him if he would be made whole, he responded, "Sir, I have no man to put me in the pool when the water is troubled." John 5:7 says, Jesus said, "Take up thy bed and walk." And immediately the man was made whole. What a mighty God we serve. I could tell you about Naomi and Ruth, Queen Esther, Tabitha, also known as Dorcas, the woman at the well, Mary Magdalene, and the woman with the issue of blood. But time and place and miracles of God, as recorded in the Bible, are too numerous to tell. We could start in Genesis and go through Revelation, and we still would not be able to tell it all. Just know that through the test of time, God has promised to be there. Don't become discouraged. Be aware that discouragement comes in many forms. No matter what the source, it exhausts the spirit and it drains the soul. When the obstacles in our past seem unsurmountable and the challenges we face seem like we're just not capable of handling them, don't wave the white flag of defeat. Don't throw in the towel. Don't give in. Don't give out. And don't give up. Prepare yourself by putting on the whole armor of God, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. Having your loins girt about with truth, having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Look at what God has done for us as a people. From slavery to the White House, from our beginning up until this present moment, God is our ever-present help. We can stand on a firm foundation of Jesus Christ, knowing that the God of the mountain is the God of the mountain. Knowing that the God of the good times is God of the bad times. The God of the day is still God in the night. See, my God is a great God. And he specializes and Reverend Davis of Shiloh sing. Also, Sister Gwen from Fellowship sing this song. Talking about the storms that keep raging in my life. You know, there's one particular part of the song that's near just my heart. It says, so if the storms don't cease, and if the winds blowing in my life, my soul has been tranquil in the Lord. Remember that in our daily struggle, try applying these 2 rules to your life. Just 2. Rule number 1. God is in charge.